The laugh came easily to Victor Hale, smooth and careless, the kind of laugh that had never been questioned or challenged. It echoed softly through the marble-floored bank lobby as he leaned back in his chair, gold cufflinks catching the light. Bios. Across from him stood a woman in a faded blue shawl, her hands clasped tightly, her voice calm but trembling when she spoke again. "I just want to see my balance." The banker hesitated. Victor waved his hand dismissively, still smiling, still amused. But when the screen finally lit up, the laughter died in his throat, replaced by a silence so heavy it seemed to press down on every soul in the room. Anya Raymond had learned early in life how to stand quietly in places that did not expect her. 4. She was 32, though exhaustion made her look older. Her life had been a long corridor of closed doors, poverty, loss, responsibility, each one forcing her to grow stronger without ever being noticed. She had not come to the bank to prove anything. She had come because the letter in her bag demanded it. The letter, stamped and official, had arrived 2 days earlier, instructing her to verify an account before the end of the week. She had almost laughed herself, certain it was a mistake. People like her did not get letters like that. Victor Hale, on the other hand, was a man the world expected things from. At 45, he was a self-made millionaire, celebrated in magazines, invited to conferences, admired for his sharp mind and sharper tongue. He prided himself on reading people quickly, on knowing who mattered and who did not. When he walked into the private banking section that afternoon, he noticed Anya only as an inconvenience, a poorly dressed woman holding up his meeting with the branch manager. Her presence irritated him. Her request amused him. The banker, a young man named Faris Malik, cleared his throat nervously as he typed Anya's details into the system. Victor leaned over the desk, curiosity flickering behind his arrogance. "Let me guess," he said lightly. "Wrong branch? Or maybe you're checking if your salary came in." Anya did not respond. She stared at the desk, her thoughts drifting far from the polished counters and hushed voices. She remembered the small house in Lahore where she grew up, the peeling paint, the smell of lentils cooking late into the night. Her father, Imran Rahman, had been a quiet man with kind eyes and a mind that worked like a machine. He was an accountant by training, but circumstances had forced him into small jobs, bookkeeping for shops, tutoring students, fixing financial mistakes for people who never thanked him. What Anya did not know as a child was that her father had also been brilliant in ways the world never saw. Imran used to say, "E-money is loud beta, but wisdom is quiet." She did not understand then. She understood better after his death. When Anya was 19, her father collapsed at his desk, papers scattered like fallen leaves, a heart attack sudden and unforgiving. The hospital bills swallowed what little savings they had. Anya dropped out of university to work, then worked more, then worked until her dreams became something she visited only in sleep. Through it all, she remembered her father's notebooks, old ledgers filled with neat handwriting, numbers that seemed meaningless at the time. After his death, she packed them away, unable to bear the sight. Back in the bank, Faris's fingers froze over the keyboard. He blinked once, then again, convinced the system was malfunctioning. Mom," he said slowly. "Could you please confirm your father's name?" Anya looked up. "Imran Rahman," she replied softly. Victor's smile tightened. "Is there a problem?" he asked. Faris swallowed. "Sir, the account, it's verified." Anya stepped closer, her heart pounding. She had come prepared for embarrassment, for disappointment, for another reminder of her place in the world. She had not prepared for the way the room seemed to tilt when the screen turned toward her. Rows of numbers glowed back at them. Long numbers, more zeros than Anya had ever seen attached to her name. Victor leaned forward, his breath catching. The laughter that had once defined him moments earlier was gone. "That can't be right," he said sharply. What account is this?" Faris stood up, his voice unsteady. "It's a legacy account, sir. It's a legacy account, sir. Opened 27 years ago. Multiple international investments, compounded interest. It appears to be substantial." Substantial was an understatement. The balance exceeded even Victor Hale's expectations of wealth. For the first time in years, he felt something unfamiliar crawl up his spine. Doubt. Anya stared at the screen, tears blurring the number. Memories rushed back to her father, sitting at the small wooden table late at night, scribbling calculations by candlelight during power cuts, whispering apologies to his family for working so much. He had never spoken of wealth. He had never hinted at secrets. And yet, here it was. Victor straightened, trying to regain control. Miss Raman, he said, his tone changing. Perhaps we should discuss this privately. Anya met his eyes. There was no triumph in her gaze, only confusion and pain, and a quiet strength forged by years of struggle. "I just wanted to see my balance," she repeated. The story behind the account unfolded slowly over the following days. Imran Rahman, it turned out, had once been offered a partnership in a multinational firm after uncovering a massive financial fraud early in his career. He refused the spotlight, choosing instead to invest quietly, ethically, supporting small businesses, funding education programs anonymously. He created the account not for luxury, but for security, for a future he feared he might not live to see. The challenge for Anya was not the money itself, but what it meant. Wealth did not erase the years of hardship. It did not bring her parents back. It did not automatically give her confidence or purpose. For days, she barely slept, haunted by questions. Was she worthy of this? Could she trust herself with it? Would it change her into someone she did not recognize? Victor faced his own reckoning. The moment replayed in his mind endlessly. The laugh, the assumption, the dismissal. He had built his empire on intelligence and risk, but also on judgment. And now that judgment stood exposed, for the first time, he saw how easily success had blinded him, how often he had measured people by appearances rather than substance. Their paths crossed again at a financial conference weeks later. Anya attended quietly, sitting in the back, observing. Victor was scheduled to speak. When he took the stage, he paused, scanning the audience until his eyes found her. The speech he delivered was not the one he had prepared. He spoke about humility, about unseen brilliance, about the danger of arrogance in a world full of quiet strength. He did not name her, but Anya knew. Afterward, Victor approached her, his expression sincere. "I was wrong," he said simply. "I was wrong," he said simply. "And I'm sorry," Anya nodded. Forgiveness came easier than she expected. Life had taught her that carrying bitterness was heavier than carrying loss. With time, Anya chose a path that honored her father's value. She funded scholarships, reopened the education program he had once supported, and invested in communities that reminded her of home. She returned to university, not because she needed to, but because she wanted to finish what she had started. The money became a tool, not a trophy. Victor, inspired and unsettled, restructured his own foundation, focusing less on recognition and more on impact. Their occasional conversations were thoughtful, stripped of pretense. Two very different lives intersecting at a moment neither would forget.